I'm reading from Luke chapter 15, 11 to 32. Jesus continued, "There was a man who had 2 sons. The younger one said to his father, 'Father, give me my share of the estate.' So he divided his property between them. Not long after that, the younger son got together all he had, set off for a distant country, and there squandered his wealth in wild living. After he had spent everything, there was a severe famine in the whole country, and he began to be in need. So he went and hired himself out to a citizen of that country, who sent him to his fields to feed pigs. He longed to fill his stomach with the pods that the pigs were eating, but no one gave him anything. When he came to his senses, he said, 'How many of my father's hired servants have food to spare, and here I am starving to death? I will set out and go back to my father and say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired servants.' So he got up and went to his father. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him, was filled with compassion for him. He ran to his son, threw his arms around him, and kissed him. The son said, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I'm no longer worthy to be called your son.' But the father said to his servants, 'Quick, bring the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Bring the fattened calf and kill it. Let's have a feast and celebrate. For this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found.' So they began to celebrate. Meanwhile, the older son was in the field. When he came near the house, he heard music and dancing. So he called one of his servants and asked him what was going on. 'Your brother has come,' he replied, 'and your father has killed the fattened calf because he has him back, safe and sound.' The older brother became angry, refused to go in. So his father went out and pleaded with him. But he answered his father, 'Look, all these years I've been slaving for you and never disobeyed your orders. Yet you never gave me even a young goat so I could celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours, who has squandered your property with prostitutes, comes home, you kill the fattened calf for him.' 'My son,' the father said, 'you are always with me. Everything I have is yours. But we had to celebrate and be glad because this brother of yours was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found.'"
Thank you for reading, Carrie. Probably need a drink of water after that long one. Good job. Did you know that envy is a socially acceptable sin? It's okay to show up at a party with a gift bag full of envy, because when you hand it out, it looks like virtue. Imagine a party, someone's just graduated with their Bachelor of Arts, and people are celebrating and honoring the person, lifting them up, reveling in their accomplishments, and they're showing up with their gift bags. They just love this person for what they did. And the place is filled with balloons and pictures and a big chocolate cake. And then someone walks in with a gift bag of envy They smile, they hug, they say all the right things. They offer congratulations, they blend, and you can't really tell. But they're struggling with the night. Envy makes it hard to celebrate what we want for ourselves. Deep down, this person always wanted a degree, but maybe they never got a chance. Or maybe they didn't quite finish. And somewhere beneath the practiced smile and all those words, there's a belief that's not spoken out loud. There's a feeling. I'm better. I'm more deserving. This should be me being celebrated. It's not said out loud. It's kept quiet. Those sort of things aren't voiced, ever. Those are the thoughts that are locked up deep in the basement where no one can see, hidden away, and they've said these things for so long that they start to believe that they're true. Doesn't even seem like envy anymore. It's just being real saying these things. You know, that justice stuff, I just care deeper. I care deeply about God's things. It's this kind of deceit that envy brings. So the night goes on and they open up their gift bag of envy and start scattering it around the room, and it looks like this. Oh, wow, a BA. What's the plan? Starbucks? School's not for me. Education happens in the school of life. I don't believe in university. It creates an elite class. We don't need elite classes. What's with the chocolate cake? I hope that's fair trade chocolate. So through the night, the contents of that gift bag are scattered around. And slowly, quietly, joy drains from people, and they don't quite know why, but wonder, maybe they're right. Maybe a degree isn't a good thing. That's what envy does. Envy is the sin that we justify because it sounds like justice. It's hard to detect with your head, but you can feel it in your heart when it's happening. Envy is a socially acceptable sin. It's a common thing among people of faith because it sounds like virtue. Luke 15 starts with a story of a party. There's an undeserving group of people gathered around Jesus because he welcomes them. He's lifting them up. The religious leaders, the deserving, are gathered around too. And they show up with their gift bags of envy. That's what it says in Luke chapter 15, verse 2. But the Pharisees and the teachers of the law murmured. This man welcomes sinners and eats with them. They're murmuring. Murmuring, that thing that we do. You know what murmuring is? It's the whispered words that sound like genuine concern. Whispered words that sound fair and right and true. Deep concern. They're murmuring. He's kind to them. But is our faith really about being kind? If he really cared, he'd confront them about their sins first. I'm very concerned. Welcome is fine, but I'm really concerned. Where is their repentance? It seems to me he's soft on truth and big on love. That's murmuring. Envy doesn't shout and make itself known, it murmurs. And when it murmurs, it sounds good, it sounds right, it sounds reasonable, even just and virtuous. See, envy is easily disguised as concern for what's right, and it's a sin that's accepted because it sounds like something else. They murmur, and in response, Jesus tells 3 parables. The parable of the lost sheep, the parable of the lost coin, and the parable of the lost son, which, by the way, is a better title than the prodigal son because we need to see that these 3 are connected. Lost, lost, lost. All 3 parables follow the exact same pattern. Something is lost, something is recovered, and there is celebration. The parable of the lost son starts like this. There was a man who had 2 sons. The younger one said to his father, "Father, give me my share of the estate." So he divided his property between them. Today, if I was to ask my dad for my share, or if someone else was to do it, it'd be a little bit off. It happens, though. Maybe now, come on, I could use the money now. Truthfully, I could. It's a little bit off, maybe even a bit rude, depending on the situation. But to them, back in this time, it is unheard of. This is like way, way off. You don't do this. It's kind of like tricking your grandparents into giving you money. People frown on that sort of thing. So in that culture, he is looking past his father and treating him like he is already dead. Those are the implications of him asking for his inheritance before he is dead. You're dead to me. Give me what's mine. I want it now. But the father surprisingly gives in to him and gives the inheritance to him. It's all hard assets. So the son has to have an estate sale and free it all up to money. He's got to liquidate the property that's been in the family for years. He's got to sell it. He's got this estate sale. He gets pennies on the dollar. He wants cash because he wants to take it all with him. Thanks for the money, Dad. I'm out of here. He's lost, like the sheep that wandered off and like the coin that was lost. And he wastes all his money on fast living and hard drugs. Driving expensive sports cars, crashing them because he's impaired. Goes to parties with gift bags probably full of drugs, not envy. Goes from relationship to relationship. He's lost. He finally hits rock bottom and he realizes it. He can't find any food. He's scraping through garbage. He's at that place where there is just absolutely nothing and he can't go down any further. He's a complete mess and he decides it's time to go home. So he makes his long, painful journey home and he's walking this long distance and he's got a lot of time to think. What am I going to say? What am I going to say to my dad? He's running it through his mind, rehearsing. What are they going to say? Are they going to accept me? There's a lot of time to think and imagine the reactions. But all those years, he doesn't know this, but all those years, his dad never lost hope. Every day he goes and stands at the end of the driveway looking for his son, hoping that he's going to come home, watching in the distance. It's like a daily habit he's got, just looking for his son. And then one day it happens. He sees his son. And this is the reaction in Luke chapter 15, verse 20. While he was still a long ways off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion for him. He ran to his son, threw his arms around him, and kissed him. I think that lost son was probably shocked and overwhelmed and stunned by this reaction from the father. It's not what he expected. He had prepared a speech. All this way he's been rehearsing this speech that maybe this will help. Father, I I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. He's been saying that over and over and over again. And as soon as his father sees him and hugs him, he starts saying it. He's crushed in a bear hug, but he tries to speak anyway. Father. The father doesn't even seem to notice this, though. It's an important part of the story. Doesn't even respond to his words. He skipped that part. He's already at the celebration part. He skipped over the whole forgiveness and consequences thing. For a season, the older brother had it made. The older brother was the one that stayed on the farm. He was the good one, the righteous one, the reliable one. He was the one and only son. He'd earned his place in the family business. He was solid. And he discovered one day he didn't really miss his brother that much, actually. As a matter of fact, things were working out quite fine for him. His brother had deeply hurt the family, and as far as he was concerned, it was his choice to leave, and he could suffer the natural consequences of his behavior. He's realized he's actually pretty happy. It's nice being the only son. But things take an unfortunate turn for him. He hears a disturbance. He hears voices that seem out of place. He hears shouting and yelling, noises that aren't normal. It actually sounds like happiness and joy, which is something he hasn't heard for a long time. And he asks the farmhand, hey, what's going on? What's this disturbance? Why aren't people working? And the servant tells him what he thinks is good news. Your brother's come back. Everybody is celebrating. Your dad is preparing a big party. The servant had a smile, but then went like this. Oh, thought you'd be happy. Slinks away. His face darkens. His mood sours. This is not how he wanted it. It was better before. And this is, a matter of fact, this is terrible news for him. Things were better when his brother was gone. He was the better one. He was the deserving one. And it was clear, it was obvious to everyone. So he decides he won't go to the party. No. Not even with a gift bag full of envy. He won't even go with that. He's not going to go to the party. His father comes to him and begs him, please, he pleads, please come to the party. Please celebrate. Your brother is back. And did you know that in these days, it was the older brother's responsibility to host a party like this? It was a huge social faux pas for him not to be there hosting people. Very disrespectful. He's supposed to be checking on the guests, welcoming people. He won't go to the party. His father begs and begs, but no. But he opens up that gift bag of envy, starts dishing it out to his father. So what he says in Luke 15, verses 29 to 30. All these years I've been slaving for you and never disobeyed your orders. Yet you never gave me even a young goat so I could celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours, who has squandered your property with prostitutes, comes home, you kill the fattened calf for him. He's kind of right. He's got a point, doesn't he? He's kind of right. He didn't leave. He wasn't disobedient. He didn't squander the money. He worked hard. The other son did all those things that were wrong. One could almost say that he was saying these things. He was the one that's caring for his family, defending them, maintaining good boundaries, wanting his brother to suffer natural consequences for his behavior. Says envy does this, though. Envy murmurs when the lost are found. What he really means is, I'm better, I'm more deserving. That's what he really means, that he's not saying. Envy can't celebrate someone else because it threatens them. Envy can't experience joy at someone else's blessing or good fortune because it has to be about them. You never even gave me a goat to have a big barbecue with my friends. I just wanted a big barbecue. You never gave that to me. That's what envy does. It points to the wrong thing, and it uses truth to lie about what's true. The conversation isn't the conversation with envy. It's deeply destructive and harmful because it attacks people to the core. It's like a sneak attack. You don't see it coming. The truth is, the Father had given him everything as well. You need to notice this. At the very beginning, he divided his property between them. The Father split the whole estate between the two sons. And the older son didn't protest and say, this isn't right. No, I can't. I can't. I shouldn't. Didn't refuse to take it. He took it, and actually he got more than the younger son. The older son would have got more of the estate than the younger son. He's got everything of his father's. Never gave him a goat? That might be technically true, but it's not the truth. See, it sounds really bad, but the truth is, the Father had already given him everything, and all the goats were already his. Envy uses the truth to lie about what's true. Those religious leaders listening at this point in the story, I think they probably started murmuring. Because the things that happen in the story just aren't right. They're not faithful. It's not correct. The son, he repented, but where did forgiveness happen? Has he really stopped living this sinful lifestyle? He just ran out of money. We see through that. That father, he's enabling that son. That's a fact. Here's the one we really need to pay attention to. I would never act like that. That's unbelievable. That's what envy does. It acts like justice, but it partners with hatred. It masquerades. It's all about merit and deserving. Envy easily becomes an acceptable sin. We've gotten used to it, cozied up to it, spoken envious words performatively. Envy works very well for the religious. Envy works very well for those who are deserving. Envy works very well for those who are better. How do we want to show up for the party? The party where the celebration is about something you want and you deserve, and it might be true. It is true, you could be better and deserve more. I think all of us have a gift bag of envy that we carry around. Some big, some small, but there's stuff in there. Envy hides as justice. When somebody else gets something good, recognition, approval, a promotion, a raise, applause, it says, that's not fair. That's the envy masquerade as justice. All sorts of ways it does that. Envy partners with a merit-based culture. A culture that praises people who earn their own way. I pulled myself out of a bad situation. Why can't you? They didn't earn that like I did. It's all merit-based. Envy is a very church-safe sin. Envy is the acceptable sin because it's performative and sounds like justice. People don't usually confront envy. Usually if someone says something that feels wrong but sounds right, we respond with active listening. I'm sorry you feel that way. You feel like you've been overlooked. You do deserve better. Envy can only be dealt with by people who want to deal with it. It is a deep, deep sickness that I think all of us have a little bit of that will resist any questioning. And envy is resistant, and it's hard to call out because it sounds right, but it feels wrong. You can't deal with truth when someone's putting up a smokescreen of justice and fairness all the time. There's another way to show up for the party, and all three of these parables give us this instruction. The instruction is to celebrate. Celebration is the antidote to envy. Jesus clearly describes it in all three parables. Leave your gift bag of envy at home and come celebrate. It's a discipline we are invited into. It is the antidote to envy. I'm not talking about just like being a wedding crasher or showing up at random parties. That's not quite what I mean, but go for it. I'm talking about the very specific discipline of celebrating other people's successes and skills and blessings that you wish you had, maybe even you think you're better. Celebrating that. Celebrating other people's things that we think we are entitled to. Celebrating others when they're getting something that we know we want. That's the remedy to envy. It isn't easy, but it's a way. And it's a way that Jesus says we should be practicing as his followers. Celebration of the lost. Celebration lifts people up. It sees the other. It takes the focus off yourself and looks at them. And celebrating them is a way of loving them. It creates community. Because instead of tearing down, it lifts up. And it's a thing that bonds us together when we celebrate other people. Celebration of others receiving blessing, welcome, recognition. That is a journey of the heart that will change us. Today I want to invite you to take out your little gift bag and look in there. Your little gift bag of envy. What's in your gift bag? What do you see? It's the first step. It's being honest about the things that we feel difficult to celebrate. Listen, I'll give you a hint. If you find it hard to celebrate something when other people get it, that's an area that you need to look into. That's something that's in your gift bag. Truthfully, I think the belief that we are better and more deserving is actually just a reaction to our own brokenness when we feel that we're not good enough. It means low self-love, and the antidote to that is actually to learn to accept God's love, to love ourselves and to love others. And celebration sorts that. It's part of the journey. Celebration sorts that. It's part of the journey to freedom. So you are all invited to celebrate. Jesus invites you to a party. Come with the right gift bag. You're invited to celebrate. Leave the gift bag of envy at home.